Hi guys, in order for the likes of Farage to get away with the demonisation of asylum seekers and migrants, he needs not only political parties to dance to his tune, but he also requires a media that will push his talking points. We've heard on I don't know how many occasions, from the likes of GB News to even so-called reputable sources like Sky News, the term illegal migration being used to refer to asylum seekers. This sort of rhetoric dumbs down the population and allows the far right to set the narrative. Here the Commissioner of the Met Police, Sir Mark Rowley, was seen leaving the Cabinet Office in Westminster, where the loaded question of two-tier policing was thrown at him. He responded in an understandable but probably not professional way. Have a listen.
You're watching Sky News. I want to show you some new images that have just been shared with us. This is Sir Mark Rowley, Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, leaving the Cabinet Office in Westminster earlier this morning, just a few moments ago. Let's show you these images as he leaves the building.
Are we going to end two-tier policing, sir?
And I just want to show you that again. That question from that reporter about two-tier policing. You'll see the Met Police Commissioner grabs the grey implement. That's the microphone. Here it is. And then walks off. Other members of the press following him as he walks across the road there to what looks to be the waiting car. They were new images being brought to us. We'll bring you more on that situation shortly.
Okay, it was not a question about two-tier policing. It was a loaded question. Now, what do I mean by a loaded question? A loaded question would be, have you stopped beating your wife? Because if you answer yes, then it presumes that you're beating your wife. If you say no, then obviously it means you haven't stopped beating your wife and you are beating your wife at the moment. So it's a stupid question. Have we stopped two-tier policing? Two-tier policing does not exist. So what is two-tier policing? It's this idea that the police are treating different protests in different ways based on some characteristic, be it racial or religious or something like that. Look, what we're hearing from the far right and the likes of Nigel Farage is that the police are treating, for example, the pro-Palestinian marches in a different way to the rioting that took place over the last number of days. And of course the police treat it differently because they're different. Every march is treated differently. Every protest is treated differently. The police assess the situation. Do they make mistakes? Of course they do. But they're not treating white people different to Muslims or other ethnic minorities. They're not. They're treating every protest differently because every protest is different. If they believe there's a high chance of violence at a protest, they're going to take a stronger approach. If they believe there's a small chance, or the violence can be maintained, or... See, because the job of the police at a protest is to de-escalate. It's not to go in there and smash up heads straight away. In some cases, it's important for the police to leave the area, even if there is growing anger, because it can be the case that if they leave, they lower the tension. If they remain, they increase the tension. They attract more troublemakers. But if the police are not there, sometimes the troublemakers see that, well, there's nothing for us to do, so we'll just go away. So every situation is different. But what you're hearing from the likes of Nigel Farage is, oh, look, the police are not cracking heads at the pro-Palestinian marches, but they're cracking heads at these pro-British ones. And this is another problem with the media. There was a journalist from the BBC describing the rioters as pro-British. This is a massive problem in the media, where you're allowing really bad rhetoric to filter into journalists' questions or journalists' reports. This idea of two-tier policing doesn't exist. But it exists in the minds of the racists and bigots and people like Nigel Farage. And of course, the more they push it, excuse me, the more they push it and the less it's corrected, the more it remains in the mindsets of the public. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.